Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Infinite Trade. So let's do our Nifty and Bank Nifty analysis for tomorrow. So the most important thing is tomorrow it is going to be a weekly as well as monthly expiry for both Nifty and Bank Nifty. And today the market was completely sideways almost the entire day. But suddenly after 2 o'clock, there was some sharp selling seen. And this, in turn brings Nifty and Bank Nifty into a important place wherein, even the Bank Nifty looks like it may change its trend towards the downside in a shorter term. So till yesterday, we were bullish. We were always, considering that Bank Nifty was consolidating and there is a higher chance of going upside. But today, for some reason, the closing is not that great. So we'll analyze everything and understand, what are the plans of the FIs and the pros and how should we plan our trade. And if you remember, yesterday in Bank Nifty, I had told you, if you see a candle closing below 41,000, you can definitely take a trade. Your target should be 40,800. And that was achieved in the afternoon. But I generally advise people not to trade after 2 p.m. because it becomes very difficult if you, lose money and the same day you cannot do any sort of recovery. So I personally don't trade after 2 p.m. So now let's see how can we plan our trade tomorrow. So right now the charts are blank completely for Nifty and Bank Nifty, if you see. So all the levels I'm gonna draw live on the video. So now let's first look at the data, and the data seems quite interesting and things have changed completely, and I don't know why they changed their mind completely. So if we look at the data, the participant wise OI data, for FIs there are about 27,000 future shorts, 12,200 call short, which is a decent number but not a significant number that we usually expect from FIs. But they have 25,500 put buy. So whenever you see an option buying that has been done by FIs or pros, that means there is a possibility of market going in that direction with a momentum. So what do you expect from a buying of an option is you need momentum for the option to increase. If it is flat, then it will not increase and you will not make money. So that time selling does help. But here if we see it is so they have bought put options. And similarly, if we look at pros, this number is quite significant. So 1,64,000 call sell and 58,000 put buy. So suddenly from the data that we saw yesterday, it has completely changed. Okay, now they seem to be more bearish, but we'll also cross check here. I was not supposed to cross check today in this column, but I'm doing it because of the change in data. Let's understand how significant it is. So if we look at the index future, FIs have closed long position. Okay, that's not a problem. It's profit booking. But here the problem lies. 23,000 short positions. So they have taken 23,000 short positions. And if we look at pro, so they have created long positions. Okay. And they have also created some short positions. So pros are usually, they, when the market is falling, they try to create a lot of long positions. So that was expected. So overall, we are more interested in FI positions. So they are bearish in the future. Now let's look at the call option. So FIs have created 64,000 long calls and 76,000 shorts. So again, which determines that the bearishness. If we look at pros, they have 13,000 longs, but 1,78,000 shorts, a huge number. And similarly, if we look at the puts, FIs have bought 33,000 put, and they've only shorted about 7,000 puts. Okay, so this is something again showing the significance of downside. And if we look at pros, they have created 26,000 long, and they have closed their shorts in the put side. Okay, so this is again an issue. So looking at the data, things looks bearish. And so let's look at the option chain, and then we'll go to our charts to understand what sort of price action should we expect tomorrow. Okay, so let me just delete this. Now we'll check our option chain. Okay, so this is our option chain. So today both the sides looks red in color, and if we look at the charts, if you look at the change in open interest, we have completely call writings that we could see, and put writing was there in the morning because I was watching the market continuously, but they had to exit in the second half when market saw a sudden fall. Okay, and yesterday we were discussing that 41,000 should act as a strong support this week, but this was completely broken, and still 41,000 put writers are stuck here. But it is completely taken over by the call writers, and we have a lot of open interest in 41,000 call. So overall, if we have to summarize the option chain, even the option chain looks bearish as of today and even for tomorrow. So definitely we are going to plan a bearish trade in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So now let's come back to our charts. So this is Bank Nifty. So first we'll look at Bank Nifty. So I'm marking some lines. Okay, so one of the line I'm marking somewhere here. So this is a breakout level. So this level should definitely act as a strong support. And what is it? It is around 39,923. Okay. And now for the short term, this has become a strong resistance. So let's mark a line somewhere here. Okay, and let's change its color to red. Okay, so this is a big range from 41,650 to 39,950. So let's consider in the round figure sense. And now if you see, today when we consolidated in this range and then we finally broke it, so this is going to be a crucial resistance for tomorrow as well as for the coming week. Okay, so once we cross this, is then we can at least hope for an upside. But right now 41,360, 370 is going to be a stiff resistance for tomorrow, and even for the coming week if we do not take it out tomorrow. And now if you see, Bank Nifty has good room on the downside, and this time however I feel that so whenever there is a gap which is not filled, there is always a confusion in mind that there is a possibility that market may turn and it can try and fill the gap. So that possibility I was thinking that it may happen next week and not until this expiry, but things have changed eventually, so we'll also change our plans. So now, yes, so tomorrow this gap filling is definitely possible. Okay, so what should be our plan is, as soon as today's low is crossed, okay, let me just first mark a line here. Okay, so this is going to be our level which was broken by Bank Nifty today. So now I'll just write down things here. So what you can expect is, so we have already closed below this area, so which itself says that they have already given a breakout kind of thing. So if we open below this swing, so below this area, so that is about 41,000. So let's just quickly check that. Yeah, 40,980. Okay, so just imagine if we are opening somewhere between 40,980 to 40,800. So we'll consider this as a flat opening. And even if we open around 41,000, that should also be okay. So if we open here, definitely the call writers are going to, enter into the market with some force. And as soon as it breaks today's low, then I don't think so the market would go sideways. It may go slowly, but it will definitely going to come to this area, which is around 40,300 to 350. Okay, so your target should be this area. But if you're an option buyer, I think the safe target would be to exit somewhere around this place, 40,400. So still it is a good 400 point fall. So 40,400 to 40,500, because 40,500 becomes a psychological level. It's a round number, and market may take support there, and it may spend some time, and then it may go down. So that may confuse you. So it is always better to book targets at 40,450 to 500 area. Okay, so keep that in mind. And so I checked Nifty. So we'll discuss that. Bank Nifty can fall further, is what I could understand. So how we can discuss that? So I hope the plan is clear. If we open flat, we'll definitely going to continue to go down. And the next thing is, if we open gap up, so above 41,000. So when I say above 41,000, imagine like we are opening somewhere around 41,080 or 41,100. Then these put writers who are still left in the market, they may try to write more puts and defend the position. So if that's the case, then there is a possibility that market may turn volatile here. So then it is difficult for an option buyer to trade in this case, but it would be a good day for option sellers. So we discussed gap up. So if we find a gap up, there is a possibility that first half may be sideways and second half they may go towards their trend, because they already hold so much of position. So they'll definitely book profits in it. And a significant gap up somewhere here is going to be a big trouble, but I'm not expecting that. So there are two possibilities that can happen tomorrow. Either we'll open flat here, or there is a possibility we may open gap down. Okay, if market opens gap down, that market is going to be very, very easy for everyone to trade. Why easy? Because being a Thursday, being an expiry day, when we see a gap down market, trust me, the first half will be completely sideways. You just have to wait for this to happen. Once you see that there is a swing that is created between 9:15 to 10:30 or 10:45, you just mark that area. You will see market trading between that area. Okay, so writers can definitely create a straddle or a strangle or something like that and enjoy the time decay. But for option buyers, you just have to wait for the sweet time to get over, and whichever side it breaks, and that possible side is downside, you just have to buy a put. But don't go for a bigger target, because usually I've seen that monthly expiries have traded in a range and it has not moved significantly like the ones that we saw in the last couple of expiries. So this should be a plan if you see a gap down in Bank Nifty. But overall, market sentiment looks bearish, market looks bearish, price action looks bearish. So tomorrow I think we'll fill this gap. And now actually I don't think so they'll stop even at the gap. They may even come down further. Why? So that I'll answer when we check Nifty. So I hope things are clear with Bank Nifty. Let's look at Nifty. So if we look at Nifty, let's first mark some important levels. So the first thing is, so Nifty had always tried to take support in this place. It is around 18,030-40 area. Okay. And yeah, then we started making higher lows and higher highs, and we tried to go higher. But suddenly today, there was a sharp sell off. It traded in a tight range, and I was expecting a breakout on the upper side, but for some reason, it just came down. So now if you see, this level is not important anymore. Okay, so we have already tested this once, twice, thrice, and 4 times. So this time, if Nifty, you see it here, it may just give one bounce and it may immediately break this. So your actual selling comes below this. Why below this is because this is a price action. So what has happened is, so Nifty was coming down, you know, sharply. Then this is a kind of first pullback, and now there are two chances. Either it should take support like this and then continue higher, or the second is it should form a lower high, okay, and it can go further down. So the sentiment looks something like this. So a possibility of going down further. And if this time Nifty breaks this level, I'm sure it will only stop. Let's see where it would stop. The next immediate support comes somewhere here. Let's just see if it is correct. Wow, this looks disastrous. So the next support actually comes at 17,824, so around 800 levels. So another 300 points from the current price and about 150 points from this low. So because of this, I said there is a scope that Bank Nifty may also come beyond the gap. And so let's all pray that this doesn't happen tomorrow itself, so that we may get another day to trade. Okay, so this is how the situation is in Nifty and Bank Nifty. So how should you trade Nifty is same thing. So it should open flat within this area. So let me just mark that. So within this area. So this, we will consider this to be flat. So if you open here and if we break this low, immediately you can enter. Your first target is going to be 18,030 to 18,040. It will not stop anywhere before this, because this is where we saw a good buying. So it may take support here, and being a expiry day, it is always better to exit here. And in case in the second half, if it is trading in a range and then it is breaking it, definitely you can re-enter for a bigger target. But I think they may not do it tomorrow itself, but let's see. So this should be a plan for Nifty. Again, gap down, the same logic as Bank Nifty, wait for it to trade in a range. Then once the range breaks, you can enter. Gap up, similar logic, it is going to be volatile. Now let's just mark the resistances also. So surprisingly, 18,300 is still going to be a strong resistance for Nifty. Just push it higher so that we are not in a confused state. Okay, so let's keep it as 18,325, 326. Okay, so this is your resistance for tomorrow, and I think it is going to continue even in the coming week. And then obviously we have stronger resistances upside. So let's not think about it today, but this should be the support and resistances that you should be watching it for tomorrow. So I hope things are clear for Nifty and Bank Nifty. So we saw the data, we saw the option chain, we saw the charts. Everything seems to be bearish. And even in cash market today, FIs have sold for 1900 crores and DIs just bought about 472 crores. So yeah, so we'll do a bearish trade tomorrow definitely. Thank you for watching the video, and I had promised that I'm going to upload a video on how to analyze this data. I'm going to do that. The only reason why it is getting delayed is I'm kind of trying to prepare a chart which becomes easier for you guys to understand just looking at the positions. It is easier to interpret, because you need some sort of an help in the initial days. So once you get habituated looking at the data for like 5-10 times, then you may not need that table. But I'm just preparing it. I need some logic, so I'm trying to do that. So maybe in this week I'll record and definitely upload it. So let's see. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Let's meet in another video tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye.